What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy you're here with me today. I don't know where you are in the world, but I am loving the fact that we have some bright sunshine and some slightly warmer temperatures today. I'm in Ontario, Canada, where our weather's been really weird so far this winter, but today's one of these gorgeous, sunny, warmer days. So the sun's coming into my office. I'm here with you. I'm here with Sarah, my producer, and so excited about today's topic. If you follow me on Facebook, you may have seen a post I put out, I don't know, a couple of hours ago or something, saying that one of the cards that I pulled when getting ready for today's show actually had the words red flags in it. Today's show is called Red Flags Don't Turn Green. And so I know that when a word in the title of my show shows up in the descriptions of the cards that I pull, that spirit is like, okay, we have a lot to talk about. And it's been like that all morning. I have been hearing so much information, remembering situations for myself, and just everything has just been a bit of a whirlwind. So I am actually really grateful to be here with you now live, and thank you for those who are watching on the replay, but I'm grateful to be here live now so that this information can come through and I can share it with you. And then maybe spirit will kind of just like kind of calm down a little bit. Now, I do know and practice that you can always ask spirit to step back or to slow it down or whatever words you choose. I didn't do that today because I am just really excited as well about today's topic. Like red flags. We all know what they are. We hear the term all the time, and you've probably been hearing it since you were quite young. It's such a common way to reference different aspects of things that go on in our life. You know, red flags can come up for you personally, for your relationships, whether they're the close, intimate ones or, a casual relationship or an acquaintance. They can come up in your business or your place of employment. Like they're everywhere. Now, our job is to recognize where they are and what we're going to choose to do when we see a red flag. In the notes that I put out for the show, I was saying, some people kind of will choose to look at a red flag and go, it's kind of more orange. It's not really a red flag. Like, it's not really something I need to be paying attention to or worried about. Like, it's just, it's kind of there. Well, now who's the one that's in denial? We're going to get into that. And one of the things I also wrote, which I really want to share with you, because when I went back and looked at my notes a little while ago, I thought, okay, this needs to be shared. When you're ignoring your red flags, you're inviting in trouble. You are inviting in drama and perhaps even trauma. Did you hear that? When you are ignoring the red flags, for whatever reason, doesn't matter, you invite in drama, traumas, troubles of some kind as you try to mask that red flag in whatever way you're choosing in that moment. The color red is a universal color of like stop or caution, right? Like pay attention, not orange caution, like, oh, watch your step. There's a little crack in the sidewalk. No. It's like you need to pay attention when you see the color red. Now, I purposely wore some red today for the show. For those of you who, choose to watch on the video, you'll be able to see that. But it's to sort of like reinforce. When we see red, we tend to take notice of it. Now there's that line, right? Seeing red, which implies anger, rage. Again, those are using the word rage in a way of like, okay, you got to stop and pay attention because something big could happen. You could really end up in some drama or trauma or hurt. On the flip side of that, though, and maybe it's because we use the term red flag so often that it's kind of commonplace. Oh, yeah, that's a red flag. I've seen them before. It's not really that bad until it is. We become a little bit blasé with it. And this is part of the difficulty with phrases and things that we say on a regular basis. And a number of my shows have talked about this. When you hear something over and over again, it's a programming. Red flags is no different. So you can recognize a red flag for something, and your mind will go, yeah, we've seen red flags before, and you're here, you're okay. Yeah, there was a little disturbance, but you're good. So our mind reinforces for us this idea of, yeah, it's okay. So by the time we get to the end of today's show, I want you to be able to answer a question for yourself. How many red flags are okay? We're not going to answer it in this moment, but I want you to think about it because they're all around. They really are. It's up to you, it's up to me to see them and to recognize, where they are and what they're telling us. And we can totally choose to ignore them. And we all have. I have, you have, and I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if there's any one person that could get in touch with me and in all honesty say, I have never ignored a red flag. Now, a lot of people can say, I have never ignored a red flag since, and they'll fill in a time frame, or over the past 25 years, assuming they're not 25 years old, let's say you're 50, you get to a point where you may choose to never ignore a red flag. But prior to that, commitment, and that commitment's a really good word, but there's a steadfastness to it as well, that when you really plant yourself in that choice, that's when it makes a difference for you. And it's from that point on that so much can change for you. It really can. It's quite amazing. Right? So, red flags, as I say, we've all ignored them. We've all had consequences from them as well. And then that can be our choice as to whether we're going to recognize what the consequence is. So, who out there, right? You've eaten something. After you've eaten it, you've gone, oh, I kind of knew I shouldn't have eaten that, as your stomach kind of bloating and expanding out with you. Maybe a top button, if you've got one, needs to come undone. But you're like, that's okay. It'll go away. It's nothing serious. But you said, oh, yeah, I kind of knew that would happen. Or that's happened before. Or you may say something like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Well, you did it because you ignored a red flag. You ate that food item knowing that it was probably going to cause you some discomfort. You ignored a red flag. So some can be very minor. some not so much, especially if you have a strong allergy to something or, other circumstances around you. But the mind will go, yeah, but you ate it before and you survived. It's okay. The mind will say, it's not too much of a big deal. Next time you can choose not to have that, but you'd really like to have it now, wouldn't you? You know it tastes so good. Everyone else is having some. The mind puts you in a state of thinking that encourages you to ignore the red flag. The mind's not wrong. It's not doing something awful. It's doing its job. It's feeding you what you think most often, just giving it back to you that matches the circumstance you're in. It's recognizing that you were fine before. Now, should you eat it and some devastating, like really difficult results from eating that item, then your mind's going to be able to start to change its perception and belief on it for you. And we'll sort of go the next time, well, oh, remember last time, only once, but last time, yeah, remember you landed in the emergency room. So maybe we shouldn't eat it now. But it will take that, something dramatic, for the mind to give you a different thought. And I don't want any of us to go there. I don't want to end up like that. I don't want something that dramatic or traumatic to happen to encourage me to recognize red flags. It's not a healthy way of living. It is the way we live. It is the way we think, but it is not a healthy way to be. Just because we think a certain way doesn't mean it's good for us. And you know that. If you've been following my shows, you know that. But sometimes we need a bit of a shakeup to help us recognize things. So what if that wasn't necessary anymore? What if you could just be in that space of being open, aware, allowing yourself to see the red flags that are around you so that you can make a conscious choice in that moment without the interference of the mind giving you old repetitive thoughts or old programming coming forward. For me personally, that is where I strive to be. That is my end goal when it comes to red flags and how I am choosing to live my life. This attitude we have of being blasé or, that was just a one-off, that needs to leave. That is not helpful for any of us. I hear people say all the time, oh, I knew there was a red flag with that individual. Yeah, but he or she or they have so much potential. Well, hearing you say that they have so much potential, that's a red flag for me as I'm sitting and listening to you if you're one of my clients. It should be a red flag to you as well. So sure, it is nice to recognize potential in people and, their skills and where they could go with them and things. But if you are ignoring a red flag to be that really nice, supportive person, then, oh boy, have you got some difficulties. You have stuff to work on. I've got in the chat room, I say that all the time. So many people do. And the difficulty here is that, well, it's not really a difficulty, but everybody has so much potential. So you are saying the truth. You really are. However, what are you also masking by saying that line? Because you are masking something. Telling someone they have a lot of potential or seeing yourself that that they have so much potential is completely you looking through whatever color glasses you have. You may have rose ones, you may have green ones, thinking that red flag's going to go green. You may have purple ones. But what is happening is you are not looking clearly at what is right in front of your eyes. And no matter how much potential we see, we have nothing to do with it. It's that other person's choice as to whether they choose to see that potential and then choose to take actions, education, meeting new people, reading books, whatever it might be, to step into that potential. So you can see how red flags get a little, not messy, but we mean well by sometimes with how we look at them. But that doesn't mean they're correct for you to ignore. It doesn't mean they're safe for you to ignore. It is very much a lot of information for you to be looking at as to why you are choosing to look at that red flag that way. It's information about you, for you, has nothing to do with the other person. Well, that was a lot of information for our first segment. I knew there'd be a lot today. All right, we are going to go though for our first break. So don't go away because I have so much more to share with you on red flags do not turn green. We'll see what comes up. I have a ton of examples. We'll see if I share some of my own personal stories with you. So I really know you'll want to come back. So don't go away. We have a couple of commercials here for you, a couple of things to listen to. And then when we get back, we're going to continue on this conversation here on Inspired Choices Network, on the Cultivating Kindness with Karen show, and understand, okay, so a little more about why we ignore these red flags and what's going on in that moment. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll be back very shortly.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So red flags don't turn green. To understand red flags more and how you work with them, ignoring them is a way to work with them, is such a kindness to you. It really, really is. These red flags, they bring so much information forward. You just need to be open to seeing it and maybe change your perspective a little bit or a belief so that you will allow yourself to look at them in a new way or a slightly different way. It truly is all about you. It really is. We talk about the red flag as being an indicator of a potential problem or difficulty with that other person or that situation at work or, a family member, whatever it might be. That's incorrect. I mean, it's totally incorrect. Yes, you may have a situation at work, and yes, you may have this difficulty with another person. But the red flag you're seeing is information for you. Remember, you can't change the other person. You can work with yourself. You can change how you respond to something or how you react to something. You can look at the information that's there in front of you. And from that, you can choose how you're going to respond. As you change how you respond, and as you grow in not accepting to accept red flags anymore, yeah, you may change your environment. Chances are really good that you will. You may energetically influence somebody else to change, but that's on their choice, not you. I've got a comment in the chat room here too. It says, when I ignore red flags, I'm masking myself and ignoring me, what I need and desire to want. And that's brilliant insight, because that is so accurate, so accurate. In the first segment, we talked about, seeing so much potential in another person. So as a result, we may forgive or ignore some red flags. But here, this is exactly it. It's how the red flag is showing up for you. What are you choosing to ignore? What do you feel that maybe in you that you need to hide? That if you followed through on what you saw in that red flag, that would expose something about you or force you to make a choice and take an action that you're not ready to do. You see the full circle of these red flags? They impact every area of our life. How we see ourselves, how we see others, choices we choose to make, and you choose to make a choice by ignoring it. Just because you do nothing isn't, oh, well, I chose to do nothing. Like, no, I'm sorry. Not choosing is a choice. These red flags are so valuable if we can turn it around a little bit, how we look at them. They really are, I mean, sometimes we'll ignore them because we just want to go into this fantasy world of what it would be like if that red flag turned green and it wasn't a problem. It wasn't there anymore. And we like to dwell in that fantasy world. That often creates autopilot, and we know how I feel about that. We can go into this fantasy of, it's just this time. It won't happen again. No guarantee. You may get another red flag. It may not be identical, but if you're open to it and willing to look with truth, you'll see how it's connected. The red flag, it's allowed to carry on because we refuse to make a commitment to ourselves to not allow it anymore. The mind is there with you saying, oh, come on, calm down. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Until it is. You've dealt with worse. And chances are you have. But that's not a reason to discount what you're aware of. If anything, the fact that you've dealt with worse should be your flag saying, whoa, not going there again. Not going to allow this smaller, less red flag to create an opportunity for worse to come through. Red flags don't come in different sizes and different depths of red. Red's red. You may be colorblind. Red's going to show you something different, but whatever color you see to represent red, it's red. I guess, except for those that are truly just on the gray spectrums for your eyesight, then that's different. However, you still know what I mean. We don't actually see the red flag. We sense it. We hear it. We see something in someone's behavior or action that gives us that signal, that term. Oh, that's a red flag. It'd be so much easier if somebody just pulled one out, took it out of their pocket, waved, oh, red flag, red flag. But it's up to you in your commitment to who you are to recognize the red flags. Living in this fantasy land where it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm sure they'll change. Or you bring it up to somebody and you say, hey, you know, I was really uncomfortable with this, or however you're going to phrase it. You may even say, you know, this is a bit of a red flag for me. And the person's going to likely respond, oh, no, don't worry about it. That's not how I meant it. Or, oh, okay, I see that. Don't worry. It's gone. I will never do that again. Or worse, you hear, wow, I don't see how that's a red flag. Why would you look at it that way? What's with your thinking? I think the way you see things, that's where you need to place your attention. That's where you are having problems. Whenever it's flipped around to you, your red flag just caught on fire. And you need to leave. My personal opinion, it is your choice. But when that red flag and somebody turns it around onto you, and you are the one that now has the red flag and the problem, then that is someone who has no interest in being kind to you in that moment. Remember, kindness comes without judgment. Kindness comes from that space of being open to hear what someone wishes to share with you. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to like it and love it, but how you choose to respond will say a lot about who you are and how you view kindness and how you view that other person. And it says a ton about your personal beliefs. It's up to each and every one of us to listen, to watch, to be aware, and to not live in this fantasy world. Don't live with these rose-colored glasses on, so to speak. You know, there's a real clear message that I want to make sure that all of you hear, right? If you've been longing for something, desiring something that you intend to have in your life, and you've been in this space for a while, that's a red flag. Longing and yearning, when that becomes your constant state of mind, then you've gone into fantasy world or autopilot. And you are ignoring the red flags that are around you. Nothing wrong with moments of fantasy and daydreaming and all that. It's actually very healthy. But when it takes over and you are unable to see the reality you are living in, or you're justifying things all the time, right? Oh, they've got so much potential. I know they can change. They just need a little more time. Whether it's an intimate partner, a friend, your boss, a coworker, it doesn't matter who they are. The energy is the same. And then one more part. When you stay in this fantasy, you are really staying in a world with an illusion around you. When we do that, we are cutting ourselves off also from the divine and from our awareness and the skills and the intuition that we have. That is not a helpful way for you to live your life. It's not a helpful way for me to live mine either. I mentioned earlier, right? One of the cards actually talked about red flags. And I'm just going to share with you before we go to our break. It said, be careful of your associations at this time. Be mindful of the addictive tendencies in making partnership commitments. So an example of an addictive tendency would be people pleasing. It's the tendency you've got. An addictive tendency to always go into this fantasy land of what could be versus what is. Then it went on and said, are you ignoring red flags in order to change the course of events to suit you? Not the other person, you. I'll read it again. Are you ignoring red flags in order to change the course of events to suit you? It's our choice to ignore a red flag. It's our choice how we choose to see everything and anything that is going on around us and inside of us, whether it's in our heart, whether it's in our solar plexus, or in our thoughts. Anywhere, your big toe, it does not matter. So, on that big toe mention, we're going to go to our break. We have the second one here coming up for you now in just a moment. Thank you so much for being here with me on Cultivating Kindness with Karen. As always, you can send me an email if you would like. It's really simple, easy to remember. Karen at KarenLeslie.ca. And Leslie is spelled Leslie. So super easy to find me, as well as, of course, you can search me out on the different social media platforms. I'm really easy to find that way as well, and we can connect. You can ask questions. You can give me ideas for other shows. And what I would love is when you find today's show or any of my podcasts, whether it's in the audio or the TV version, that you would love it and share it. Perhaps you know somebody that the information that I share and the education that I bring could be of help to another person. That would mean so much to me. All righty, we are going to go to our second break. So don't go away because I have so much more, as well as now, all right, so I recognize I have red flags. I see them. I choose to ignore them. How do I change that, Karen? I'll answer that question when we come back from our break. All righty, don't go away, everyone. We won't be long.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen at KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. And it really is fun when people come into the chat room during the live shows. It's super easy to do so. You just go to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com/chat room. Once the page opens up, there will be a little box to log in. You can use your real name or just make something up. It doesn't matter. But then you can log in. And you come into the chat room where you can type in questions and comments. There's also a link there just sort of to the left of the chat box when you come in that you can hit for the Zoom link and you can watch live while you're also, being part of the conversation. So, please join us one day. As I say, it's a lot of fun when people are there. I really enjoy it. And it also brings in a little bit of a different energy to every show because you're having your question answered. And when you bring a question live like this, then we all know that other people have that same question. And you're really helping lots of other people at the exact same time as maybe gaining some extra insight or clarity for yourself. So, please hop on. It would be fun to have you here. All right. So back to red flags don't turn green. I think you've kind of got the message by now from the first two segments that really the red flag is about you. We are taught to look at a red flag and then project out that it has to do with another person. It's really about ourselves. It really is. What are we ignoring? What do we not want to see? Truthfully, it may be what's too painful to look at. What healing needs to be done within you that would help you to no longer ignore red flags, that then helps you move into a way of living where those red flags decrease, maybe even go away, and you can step fully and safely into who you are. You will understand so much more about you when you allow yourself to actually look at where you're hurt, where your inner wounds are. What are you truly fearful of? And doing that 100% with that energy of kindness, support, safety, time, so that that healing takes place and becomes permanent within you. And when that happens, that new sense of who you are and that energy within you, it opens up a way to see your potential. Right? We were saying earlier, oh, but they have so much potential. Well, let me tell you, when you can see how much potential you have by healing what's keeping in place those red flags, well, sky's the limit. What would you like to create? Who would you like to step into being? And what new level of commitment will step forward for you for being there for yourself and having your own back and saying no to a red flag? It may mean saying no to another person. Absolutely. But when you understand why that red flag came up and you know the truth that it's telling you, then it becomes easier and easier and easier for you to deal with that red flag in that moment right away. No more putting it off. No more saying, oh, it's only been a couple. There's no harm. Everybody has red flags. Well, yeah, only because we're allowing them. Let's be trendsetters. Let's not allow them anymore. Let's do our personal work and let's recognize what these red flags are telling us. You may have someone in your life that's very abusive, and that's a red flag. The question becomes, and it's a very delicate question, and there's a lot of trauma behind this answer. But why are you allowing that? Why are you still there? What is it about this situation that keeps you there? And there's a lot of very practical reasons that come up. And this could be a whole other show that maybe I'll look at doing. But it's giving you information. You cannot do anything with it until you allow yourself to see the information that is showing itself to you. And yeah, you may not like it. And yes, it may bring up sadness and hurt or depression, anxiety. But all of those can change. They can. Maybe not. I can't do it at the snap of your fingers, but they can change. When we become more present with ourselves, so let's look at, okay, so how do we work with these red flags? Step one, you've got to be present with yourself. Get out of fantasy land, get out of autopilot. Be present, be grounded. Doesn't mean you're not connected to spirit and you're not connected to intuition and all those things. You can do both at the same time. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Be present. Allow yourself to see the situation for how it is actually there. Just because you don't like it or enjoy it is not a good enough reason to ignore it. It is not. Again, information for you. Being honest with yourself as to what you will accept for you and what you won't is laying the foundation for who you wish to be. And who you wish to be in 6 months, in a year, or 5 years down the road is likely very different than who you are right now. When you make that commitment to make those changes, to be present, to look at where you have in you areas that need help or assistance, and to go to them with loving and kindness and a supportive, knowledgeable person to help you, then you are laying that foundation solid. You are giving yourself the gift of understanding what standards you are willing to put up with. You are saying, this is my standard for my life. This is how I choose to be treated. And this is how I choose to treat others. It's both ways, remember. If someone comes to you and says, oh, I kind of get a red flag with what you just said, same rules apply to you. No judgment, no reactivity, no attacking the other person. Understand where they're coming from, or at least be open to looking at where they're coming from. And then also be open to looking at you. So where did that reaction come from? And what is the information for me? Remember too, I've said this numerous times, any conflict you have with another person starts inside you. It resides in you. So no matter how you choose to look at this, it lands back with you. Be aware of who you are, of who you would like to be. So here's where you are. Here's where you'd like to be. I'm this kind of person. Yeah, this is great. I'm kind. I'm this, I'm that. But I know I could also be more. I know there's a brilliance or a genius inside of me that I have not had the courage or the desire to step into yet. But what if I did? There's so much information for you. Learning about yourself will teach you a lot about the red flags you're seeing. We allow the behavior in our life to be there based on past choices we have made. A past choice to ignore that red flag. A past choice to go into fantasy land. A past choice to hear those same thoughts come back from your mind over and over again, even though they're not helpful and they're keeping you in the same place. Changing how you are willing to look at you is amazing. Gaining that, even if it's a little bit, that new perception of yourself opens up so many doors. And then you build that confidence within you and that trust within you, where you can stop choosing to hide something from yourself or stop choosing to hide you from others. Empowering, exciting. So many doors open up. And one of them, happiness. Another, kindness. Another, prosperity. There's no end to what doors open up when you step into recognizing what works for you and who you are choosing to be, and you be that person in that moment, in every moment, in as many moments as you can possibly do. Do we all do it 24/7? Or is that possible? Yeah, maybe it's possible, but do we do it? No. And that's okay. But we can always strive to being that person, that energy, more often than we're not. Yes, less anxiety. What is the opposite of anxiety? Contentment. These are questions in the chat. Peacefulness, confidence. Anxiety is worry. It's about something in the future, something that hasn't happened yet. But you've got this whole story going on inside of you about what might happen. So being present and recognizing this is an old pattern, an old story you're telling yourself. And then choosing to even just say stop, right? You know, I love that word, stop. Ask a question. It can be anything. Do I like bananas? I don't care what the question is. Ask a question. Shift that energy. And then start to look at it again. We've come to accept these ways of looking at things, and truly, they're not to our benefit. So when we come back from this third and our final break, I'm going to wrap all this up for you and help you with maybe a couple of tools and a few things as to, okay, so how do I come out of wearing those rose-colored glasses? How do I come out of ignoring red flags, especially now that I recognize that it has so much to do with me? So don't go away. We've got a very short break right now. We'll be back just in a moment or two, and we will continue this to empower you to have that confidence and courage within yourself to see what a red flag is showing you. All right, everyone. Thanks so much.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
All righty. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back, or thank you for staying with me for the whole show. It's been one that is full, so full of really good information and education for you. So, I mean, truthfully, I would recommend listening to this show a few times, maybe even taking a few notes. And then if you want, reach out to me as well. If you would like to work together, I do work one-on-one, and I do have a couple of programs and things too that are group. But for a lot of this, one-on-one would probably be the way to go. So red flags don't turn green. From my perspective, that's a fact. That's the truth. And the reason they don't turn green is because this information, this red flag is there for you. It has valuable and important information that you are to take notice of, hence the color red. Hello, notice me. Right? You need to recognize what's going on in this relationship between you and the other person or the work environment or whatever it might be. You need to be able to recognize if something is becoming unsafe for you. As I said earlier, to me, a red flag is your responsibility to recognize and know about. The red flag is there for you to either get out of a situation then and there, to change how you allow a relationship to be functioning for you, and to look and see inside you what needs to be healed so that those first two scenarios I mentioned never happen again. Red flags keep coming back up because we don't do the work for ourselves. We look at them as belonging to another person or another situation, or, oh, that company's just full of red flags. There's information for you that must be looked at. You really need to. And it will show you where things are not okay. It's going to show you where there's some healing that needs to be done. And it's up to you. Right? And yes, here in the comments, you're right. It can be so hard to change a relationship once you've allowed the red flags for so long. Absolutely. If that's your belief, right? You're choosing to believe that it's going to be hard to do. You're choosing to believe that, oh, after so long, is it worth it? Like, should I just, it's okay. I'm still okay. But what are you denying within you? That until you allow yourself to see it and work with it and heal it, then those situations are not going to stop arriving. Red flags are for you. They are not meant to turn green. And I asked at the beginning, how many red flags are okay? Well, I'm going to say 1. That's it. 1. Not 2, not 3, not 3 strikes, you're out. Nope. 1. Every red flag gives you information. Every red flag you ignore allows you to stay where you're at and for other red flags to come forward. They keep arriving because you're ignoring what's going on. It's the universe saying, knock, knock. You need to be aware of this. Knock, knock. A little louder. You need to be aware of this. So how many red flags are you accepting? And have you decided are okay? Well, this is just the norm. And all it's doing is keeping you from knowing you, from having your back, from admiring who you are, because we're hiding something. And how can you admire it if you won't let yourself or others see it? And I've said before, admiration is not wrong. It's a good thing. You know, nothing we've done to this moment has been wrong. We've all been in with the red flags, no question about it. But now we have new information. Now we have a different way of looking at red flags. So here's a whole new arena of choices you can make. Don't go into self-judgment. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't look at a scenario or situation you're in where you've got 600 red flags. Now look at it and pat yourself on the back, praise yourself and say, well done. Because now I know why there's all these red flags. Now I have the option to look at something in a different way. No, they are not going to go to green. They're meant to be red, and they're meant there for you. So before we run out of time, because we are really short here now, I just want to let you know about next week's show. It's called, Who is Your Hero? When I was asked that a little while ago, like I just drew a blank. I was like, my hero? And it got me thinking. So we're going to talk about it next week. You can think about it a little bit in the meantime if you want. But right now, I would like to thank you very much for being here with me. I got a little tongue-tied there, sorry. How much do you value you, and how much do you value the life you would love to be living? All of that is there for you. Just don't expect the red flag to go green. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.